Jim Leishman, MBE, you've held many positions here at Dunfermline Athletic Football Club, from player to coach to manager to director, but now you're the chairman. How does that feel?
For me, it's amazing to be part of the club's history from the 60s right through to present day. It's just unbelievable, and I don't think people will realise how much it means to me still to be part of the football club and to be made the chairman, which is for me excellent.
Take me back to when you were a kid and how your love affair with the Pars came about.
There was a guy called Andy Young. He was, at that time, Andy Young was the chief scout for Dunfermline. Andy Young and Joe Nelson, the famous Joe Nelson, was they were a great part of the club's history then, and Andy went round all over signing the players, and he stayed in Lochgelly. I stayed in Lochgelly, and he watched me grow up, and then he eventually come along to my house to speak to my mother and father and saying that he would like myself to sign for as a schoolboy for Dunfermline Athletic. And that's where my journey, my adventure started.
For someone that had grew up watching the Pars, what did it feel like to pull on the black and white stripes?
It was amazing. My first game was against Ayr United down at Somerset Park, and I was playing with some of the greats, Alec Edwards, Willie Callaghan, Pat Gardner, John Lunn. All these guys were playing, and that was my introduction to the senior team. And it was hard then, it was hard, but you had to do your job. The senior pro said, you know, you would get a telling off if you weren't contributing to the game. So we had to be on our toes, and we had to work very hard for them, because they wanted their bonus as much as everybody.
You've spoken in the past about all the high moments that you had in your short playing career, but it was cut short by serious injury. How did that potentially affect your character or develop your character to what we see today as you've grew as a person from that devastating blow?
Initially, you know, as most people know, it was against Hearts out here in the cup, and I got a compound fracture. But initially, you don't think about it. You know, I went to the hospital. I got the metal plate in my leg and the plaster and whatever. Then you start training, and you think, right, I'm going to get back into the team. But I was never the same. I was never the same after my injury. And so my journey, I was progressing quite well at the time. I was getting better, and I felt I was getting stronger. But that never came to fruition, and unfortunately, that was my career. The high standard finished.
When you then went into the coaching side of it and built your way up to being the manager here at East End Park, did you feel you had unfinished business to complete in the dugout?
I felt it was the option for me, right? I can't play, I can't continue my football career. But, you know, I came back here as a youth coach, then the reserve coach, then the first team manager. So it gave me a great buzz. One that gave me a great buzz being the manager at Dunfermline Athletic, a team that I'd signed for as a schoolboy, then played in the first team. And so it gave me a great buzz being the manager in their centenary year, which was great. To be with the greats such as George Farren, Wally Cunningham, Jock Stein, my God, to get mentioned in the same paragraph as Jock Stein was just fantastic, a fantastic honour for me, and it was an honour to be part of the management set of Dunfermline Athletic.
You managed to build the club up from the bottom to the top, and for many generations of Dunfermline supporters, that's where their love for this club came about. That must give you a great bit of pride as well, that you were able to bring the community together and build it up and see what it became.
Sadly, they were in the doldrums for too long, and when I took over, they were 34th out of 38. So for me, there was only one way, and that was up the way. And luckily, I put some good players together. John Watson, to name Davy Young, that's 2. Ian Westwater, 3 great servants to the football club. So managing to get them together, and we started beating teams, regular beating teams. And that brings people into the stadium. If you're winning, they'll come here, that's for sure. And Dunfermline, we've got the Eastern expansion now, so there's more people out there, more youngsters that will come when we start getting better and start winning again. They'll start to come.
Even in most recent times when you were manager, people will know the iconic aeroplanes celebration from the game at Tannadice, but those moments stick in people's memories forever. And again, that must give you a lot of pride that people have had such high times with you at the centre of it.
It was great. To take over for 3 games to go, if you remember, I'm sure everyone will remember, there was only 3 games, we were bottom of the league, and we got Dundee here, we beat Dundee 5-0. But the second game, we hadn't won 2 games on the trot. I don't think we had won away from home for 13 games or 14 games. I can't remember how many, but we hadn't won away from home. And to go up to Tannadice and win one, it wasn't just about winning 3 points, it was about the budgets were getting changed. We were going to start having to release people from their jobs because the budget was completely different in the first division. And the times were hard at the time, so that was a great feeling that I helped to save some of my colleagues' jobs to keep them in employment, and they have mortgages and they have bills to pay, and to be able to be part of that was great. And that's why the aeroplane come about. I was so delighted for everyone connected with Dunfermline. The crowd was fantastic that day. They were like an extra man to the players, and they kept them going, the crowd. They were fantastic. And all the boys produced, which was that night. Craig and Hamish French did a great job as well. They were great help to me during that period. Craig and I sat in my garden in Kelty Bridge. We opened a magnum of champagne, and that got well swallowed that night, I'm telling you.
We've spoken about a lot of the high moments in your time at Dunfermline, whether it be as player or as manager, but there's also been a lot of low moments and difficult moments, even just over a decade ago, with how close the club came to going out of business. So you must be really, again, proud of the fact that when the club has needed you and its supporters at its biggest time, everybody stepped up and saved the Pars and built it back to where we are today.
Well, that was a hard time for everyone connected with the club, and for me, I was working with the staff, and the staff, some of them still working here just now. They weren't getting paid. They were getting money after a home game. They were getting some money, but it was a hard time for them because they had bills to pay as well. As I said earlier on, they had mortgages, they had bills to pay, and they didn't want to no pay them. They were good, hard-working people, and they deserve a huge credit during that time. And you know, I helped out, but a lot of people helped out. A lot of people got behind the club because it's their club. It's no my club. It's no, it's our club. It's everyone connected with Dunfermline got behind them, and they took a step forward and stood up and got counted. Everyone.
From what you've said over the last answer or two, it sounds like when the club needed it the most, you've really stepped up and galvanised people. Do you feel that that's a big part of your remit now as chairman? I
think so. I think certainly it's with the community. I'll be there. I'm always in the community. I'm here if they want to send a message to me, fine. If we can help them, we will. If we can't help them, I'll tell them, sorry, we can't do that. But, you know, my remit, Neil Lennon's in charge of the football, and I'm 100% convinced that he'll get that side right with his staff. He's got good people working for him. And David Cook, being the chief executive, David and I, we'll get together and we'll speak now and again about what we need to do, and whatever job I'm getting to do, I'll do it. I'll try my best.
When you got the opportunity to become the chairman, was it an instant yes, or was there anything you had to think about and consider?
No, it was definitely an opportunity. Life's about opportunities. You get offered an opportunity, you've got to take it. Same when I got offered the football job when I was 29-year-old, when I got offered the job then. If I'd said, no, I'm not ready, everything would have bypassed me. it would all be forgotten. I would never probably achieve what I've done here. And the same with this. This is an opportunity that will live with me all the rest of my life. My name to be on that notice board with Jimmy Waters, Mel Rennie, all the great chairmen that have followed their footsteps, and I'm very proud to be up on that board with them.
You've spoken about galvanising the fan base and the supporters, but it was a great support in the away end at Kirkcaldy on Friday. We've had great season ticket numbers and brilliant numbers turning up to KDM Group East End Park already this campaign, and another chance on Saturday for the fans to turn out in big numbers and get right behind the boys once again.
But we're only starting, eh? We're only starting that journey. You know, there's lots more fans out in Dunfermline district, the surrounding areas. There's a lot more out there, and there's new people coming into the city. The eastern expansion, they're wanting to. I don't think they all want to go to Edinburgh and Glasgow or wherever to support. They want a team that they're proud of here, and that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to make them proud of the local team, Dunfermline Athletic, and it'd be great to see their parents bringing the youngsters here. We did that at Livingston. I did that at Livingston, and I'm sure we can do this here. We're a great big club. We're huge, and people say, oh, we shouldn't be in the championship. Of course we should be in the championship. This is where we are. This is where we have got to prove to everyone that we're going to be better than that. We're going to get out of here and show them where we can go.
I mentioned in the introduction Jim Leishman MBE. That must have been a great moment that day for you, a real honour for yourself, your family. What's your family, your friends saying about this honour for you to become chairman of Dunfermline Athletic?
If I can go back to the MBE was not, it wasn't just Jim Leishman that won the MBE, it was the supporters that got behind me, and the supporters. It was a great honour. I'm from Lochgelly. My dad was a coal miner. Mum worked in the factory. I'm a miner's boy for Lochgelly. That's what I described myself. But that was a special day. My family was there. My family's all coming on Saturday to the game. Sadly, my wife will not be there, but they're proud as punch. And my grandsons will be there. My granddaughters will be there, and I'm sure they're all proud that they're all Papa here. But I'm proud of this. I'm proud of the journey I've been on. I've had great times. I've had some times that weren't so good. A couple of defeats that I didn't enjoy, just like Friday night. But you just settle down and you move on. I'm looking forward to the game on Saturday. I'll look forward to the following week. And that's what a true supporter is. It's great being a supporter when you're winning all the time, but when you're having a hard time, that is when the true colours come out, and we've got loads of people here that show their true colours every week.